I was like, yeah, what? Yeah, oh, you don't know.
It doesn't even have a title. It's like its name, its class.
Do they not practice this in the game? Do they not practice this in the game?
That's not right.
They're not as smart as
We're just the best there
they
is.
just, no, they get paid more, what the heck?
Yeah, well,
They give them these little TikToks.
sometimes, yeah, but, well, those things don't use words, they use TikTok. Look around you right now, look around you right now. Who designed this building? Everyone. Who designed that?
I was gonna say probably architects.
Okay, they drew it up.
There you
but
go.
We designed it. Who did that road out there? Tell me right now, what does a mechanic engineer do for you today?
It pumps.
You gotta make that I mean, it's hard all that. No, he wasn't here. Well, like, where's the car came from though? Japanese ferry. Some sort of just like we had with years of cars and stuff like that. You know what, Ben? You're out of this. You switched to project management. That's all right. Well, we get it where we go. Yeah.
We did this one, right? I was gonna talk to you, I probably done 25, 10 hours a semester.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, how are you all doing?
Talking.
Talking the truth.
Ready for the weekend?
Heck, yeah. I'm ready.
That's gonna be fun.
Right to sleep.
Yeah.
Me too, actually. I'm gonna sleep till Tuesday. Okay, before we start, just want to give you guys a few announcements. As you might know, we have only 3 weeks of instruction class. So we have only 3 labs left, plus today. So we have today and then 3 more labs, right? So we want to schedule our second midterm. And this second midterm will be the final for your labs. Meaning that I'm not going to test you again with all 3 of your labs in the final exam because you'll be at home. And I don't expect any of you to have the software on your laptop. I don't think you'll even have access to this lab after the 20th. So I was thinking either the 20th or the 13th. And then I thought, well, we have this conference on the 18th, on the 19th. Dr. Tegra is doing our conference, our annual conference. I know it's going to be online, but anybody here helping Dr. Tegra? Okay. So how will you guys be doing on Friday, the day after? Probably going to be very exhausting. And I don't want to test you on the last day. So let's put it this way, our second midterm will be the week before. So our second midterm
Oh, sorry,
You can try that. Neither one of those would all be a matter.
So our second midterm, guys, will be on November 13th. Friday. In lab, it will have also, like we did before, 2 components. The first component will be your classroom component. So your classroom. So it will include mainly coordinate systems. And building database and data collection. So that's number 1. And it will have your final lab exam. That's the second component. So it will have question in your lab, and it will be your final. But I'm gonna make use of the online thing, and when we get back from the break, from the Thanksgiving break, it will be online. Our Fridays will be an online Friday, meaning that I would ask you to come use your computer and have an account on ArcGIS.com and have the online version of ArcGIS on the computers. I'm going to show you how just to use ArcGIS in an online fashion and using your own data in an online fashion. So this would be your labs after we come back from this. So we're still going to have labs, but it's going to be like virtual labs. You still guys want to come Fridays? Fine, since we're virtual.
We only have one after we come back though, right?
Yeah, it's going to be one. I don't need much time to tell you how to go online and do it. You might teach me actually. You're much better than I am. Okay, guys. So your final lab exam will be on the 13th, and since we don't have any, and you have this conference, you're probably participating and helping out with the conference, some of you. I don't want to test you the day after. I don't want to keep you till 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock the day after, so we will not have lab anymore. So there is no lab on the 20th, so relax. People who see me every single day, they're going to really have a break from me, I know that. So we have only 2 labs to do today and another lab, which is this. Today we're going to talk about something called joins and weights, which is another very important tool for you guys that you want to do that. And also next week we're going to do a little bit of transportation network analyst and spatial analyst. So 2 very important topics for you guys once you start working. But before I continue, how do you guys find the GIS class? Good again from behind the mask. Take off the mask, show me the smile. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys will make use of it once you graduate. It's an amazing skill that you have, along with your surveying skills and other civil engineering skills, but it's an amazing skill that would make you probably make a little money. And also with the entrepreneurship addition to this class, I will try to make it interesting a bit more. Maybe some of you will make some business and some money out of it. So don't forget to do that, guys. Okay, that's the first announcement. Second announcement is this exercise that we did last time. How many people finished the homework? No. Only 2 people? And the rest?
I don't know how to change the database coordinate system, the base map one.
What do you mean?
Because the rest of it's in zone 17 UTM.
Uh-huh.
When I put the base map on, I can't add the stuff to it.
Can you put the base map first?
That's what I did. Well, I tried. Again, I'll try it again.
Well, the base map is just a way to find your way. You might not use it with a lot, so it's just for the sake of seeing stuff. If it didn't work, then you can still use the transportation network. That is one of the layers that I gave you. Okay, then one thing additional, if you still have problems, I'm here to help you, not to just test you. So you just come to me and I'll try to help as much as I can. Any other issues with this one, guys? Okay, I need something else with this homework that I didn't ask you here. Once you finish the PDF, I want you to make a snip of your attribute table. Show me the attribute table that you created. So PDF won't give me any idea what you did. So I want to see a snip of your attribute table. So add to this, I want to put it in a Word, put it in a picture file, whatever you like. Just upload it to your PDF. I want to also a snip. Okay. Any other questions related to these announcements? Okay, now let's start working. Today there is no sheet. There is just a few instructions and a bunch of links that you find in eCampus. Can you guys click on these 4 links? Because we need to do the following. And let's assign some states. Each one of you will do a different state. So, what state do you like? Louisiana, Tennessee, state of Virginia,
Montana.
Montana,
California.
California,
Idaho.
you got Idaho,
New York.
New York,
Florida.
Florida,
No.
Colorado,
Did you go California?
Everybody.
I want Hawaii.
Washington State, North Carolina,
Can I change mine?
Georgia,
I want to do.
That takes that.
Maryland. So each one of you has a state. I'm going to do West Virginia because I'm the lucky guy. And we want to now create a map using data that we grab from different websites. We want to create a map of the number of confirmed cases of the pandemic on each of the states. And not only the states, but you can see here in news, they do this map of the state. They do the map of the state counties. And I give you an example of West Virginia, which I'll be doing. So each one of you will also search for some kind of a county map shapefile for the state you just chosen. So let me first show you the links that I created, and let's figure out how can we grab the data from different parts. And one of the main resources of data that we use a lot when we want to map some stuff is this kind of data. That's here, the census data. And census.gov, which is the main entity that probably knocks on your door somehow and asks you for some data of your household. They create tables and maps that will shape the future of the state and future of your county and for 10 years ahead. So let's figure out what are the websites we did that I found here. You're going to probably find another website for your own state. And let's grab the data all together into one place. And then let's start working on the map. So here we go. So the first website is part of the United States Census website. And here we can download all kinds of shapefiles from different states. And here we want to download the counties of the state that you have chosen. So to do this, this takes you directly to where you can download the shapefile. We're going to download the shapefile and we can create from it our own Geodatabase. We're going to do this as part of today's exercise. So if you scroll down, we have two ways to download. I prefer the web interface. And let's download two layers. The first layer that divides the whole states into different counties. I'm going to do this with you now. So if you go here, probably the best year is 2019. That's the latest. And we have different ways to divide our geographic areas in blocks, in census tracts, in counties. Let's start with the counties. So you go here to counties and submit. And let's download the complete national file of counties. Save as. Make sure you save it in somewhere that you remember. So I'm going to put here in a new folder. And let's call this new folder, for example, choose your state. My state is West Virginia, so I'm going to use here West Virginia. Each one of you has chosen a different state. Use the state that you've chosen. And
If you're watching the Zoom, you can use also, I'm going to give you a state of Pennsylvania. And as you did before, download the zip file and then let's extract it. So here, this is my zip file. I'm just going to go here, right click and extract it. So if you look at the file, it's like a shape file. This file should contain all the counties in the whole United States. Now, let's also download, and just to show you the difference now, because we might use this as some kind of a spatial analysis to just take only the counties of the state that you've chosen. So I'm going to do the following. I'm going to go back, and instead of counties, let's use census tracts and submit. And it's going to ask you which state you want. So this is another way to, we're going to do lots of tricks here. Tricks that we've learned in this class that will enable us to isolate the counties of your state that you have chosen right now, right? So I'm going to go here in West Virginia. And let's download. Save as. Make sure you save it in the same place. Save. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to extract my census tract. Now I have two shape files. One has the whole census tract, the whole counties of states. And for me, I just downloaded the census tract of West Virginia. Anybody here knows what's the meaning of census tracts? I keep saying it, probably some of you don't know what it does.
It's like the area that most people live.
Yes, the guys with the census, they divided the whole states, every state into different areas as part of their own analysis. I'm going to show you now the difference between both when you put these in map and see how it looks like. So yes, you're right. They're not counties, smaller than counties, and they're areas as divided by the census. Before we go further, guys, let's see what we've downloaded so far. So let's start here, our catalog. And if you need to connect your R catalog to the new folder that you created, you need to do this now. So let's see how it looks like these two folders or these two layers that we've downloaded. Let's see them first in our catalog. So for my case here, it's under, let me see where I put this. So I put it in a new folder here, GIS 2020, West Virginia. And I have here now two. So this is the census tracts of West Virginia in my case. So you're going to see something similar to that. And that's the beauty of our catalog. You don't have to put it in ArcMap to see anything. This is the census tracts of West Virginia. And I have two more layers. I'm not sure what they are. And that's the problem, guys, with, yeah, these are just tables. And I have here the whole counties of the United States. Let's add them in ArcMap and see how they look like together. So just for the sake of to see that, so I'm going to put this on the side. Let's first open ArcMap. So let's open a brand new map. And as we did before, I'm going to put them side by side. And let's just, for the sake to see what we have, let's put here first the county. The whole counties of the US. It includes some counties that are thrown somewhere else. I don't know what's that. Again, we get data from somewhere and sometimes it's messed up. And you sometimes need to fix that. And I'm going to put the counties of only West Virginia above it. And let's change the color a little bit so we can know the difference. I'm going to put this in beige. And let's now zoom to West Virginia, in my case, your state, and see. So these are what I installed. And since both of them came from the same source, then you don't have to worry about any coordinate system. They use the same coordinate system. And you can check what coordinate system you have there. So in this case, I have West. Now now we can do the following. We can isolate. We don't want the census tracts. We want to create a map similar to what West Virginia does every single week for schools, is to show me how many COVID-19 cases are happening. We do for every week, but we're going to do it in total for every county, figure out where are the bad and the good counties. So our exercise today has a map of showing the data, but we need to connect the data first. So that's the thing we're going to do. Now let's go to the second file or the second link here in from your eCampus. So let's see what's that. I don't remember what I added here. So my second link was for West Virginia, so don't worry about it. It's for my own use. And then this guy here, West Virginia also. Yep, that's the map for, I want to make something similar to this. I'm not going to download anything because I need what I want. I need the census, and I also needed the counties for the whole state and for my state as well. Now what we need now is data that has information of COVID-19 for the whole state. And you're going to later on use your skills in Excel to isolate it for your own state. So let's do that. So I have here the link, probably the last link here. Yeah, USA Facts. If you click here, and you're going to find here some data to download data. If you want to put the deaths or known cases, up to you. I'm going to use known cases. This will download a file, probably a table, from a different resource here. I'm going to save as. And you notice something, it's also like we did before, something called the CSV file, some kind of a database file that GIS can read and can use. And we're gonna join this type of file to our layers. I'm gonna show you how, and my meaning of the word join. So what I did here, if I lost you, I clicked on the fourth link that you have in eCampus, took me to this website. And what I did yesterday is just I went and I searched data for COVID-19. I found different data. It was hard for me to find data in a tabular form that can be read by the GIS, but I found it in this website. But still, we need to fix this file to have it for your own state. You might find, for example, in Maryland or in Colorado, you might find data that pertain to your state. But I'm just showing you how we do it if we have just national data for the whole US. I found some data from WHO for the whole countries of the world. So let's download this and let's now fix the data. So the data is raw data, something that you're going to see a lot when you start working. The data is not easy for us to just put it in ArcGIS. It will be a big mess. So we need to fix this data. So how to fix this data? Each one of you has a state. So first thing you want to do is to figure out where your state is. So at column number C, you're going to find the states. So for me, I'm going to just go scroll down to West Virginia, which is state 54 in the list. And I'm going to pick up these rows. 54. So these are the counties of West Virginia. You're going to do it for your own state. If you choose a small state, probably going to be lucky. So here, all these states, I'm going to copy them. And let's open a new file. And in the second row, let's just copy whatever we had. And also, let's take the first row, just to know what we're doing here. And copy this. I'm gonna paste it in the first row here. So now I isolated the way you like. I just isolated my state here. Second thing is that these rows here, if I expand it, seems like the number of cases every single day. I don't want that. I want a total. So I want a total for every county. So you notice here, these are the county number. And this will create me a problem later on. I'm going to try to fix that. Maybe yes or maybe no, I can fix that. The county name, which state, the number of the states, maybe for me 54, probably have a different number. And then the cases for our COVID-19 cases for every single day. What I want, a table that looks like this. Your county ID, your name, state ID, and COVID cases. Because I want this to be part of my attribute data in my layer of counties of my state. So I'm creating my own data set now. I'm fixing the data. I'm going to do something called join. Join this table I'm going to create to the labels. So let's now fix the data. So I want the total, so let's add them up. So I go to the end here. You can see for every single day since I don't know when. And let's call this total corona or total COVID. And all you need to do, if you're good with Excel, if you remember the Excel, just sum and make sure you're summing the right numbers because it's going to assume every cell. So now I want to just starting from the first date here and then click enter. So now I just grab this guy here like we do in Excel, and I have for all my states the total number of cases for that state. And I do something else for me only, is that I want, since this is now an equation of sum in Excel, I want just a number. So for me to put it a number, I just copy again and have it as a number. So I take this guy, copy, take here, paste value only. So I have the same cell again, but as a value. Now let's delete all this row data. So I'm going to delete this row data. So from here up to the last one I created, and right click, delete. So I have now a table This table has only my county ID. The first row doesn't mean anything, doesn't matter. And then we have starting from Barber County, to Berkeley, to Boone, and all the counties in alphabetical order in my case. And I have the total number of columns. And guys, you'll be doing this. You're going to be dealing with lots of Excel and databases, and you want now to fit it spatially. You want now to join it to a layer, because this has no XY that we did last week. It just has covered counter numbers.
If I delete all this out, won't that take the numbers away?
Yeah, yeah.
If I delete all this.
You gotta, once you make the total sum, then you copy that row.
Copy
Oh,
and
paste
paste
it as
values
values.
only.
Yeah,
Just a trick for you to avoid that.
yeah, where it says paste 1, 2, 3 up there, right there, yeah. And then you can delete it, yeah.
So now I have, don't forget now to save it and also save it as a CVS file. So I'm gonna go here, File. You can name it anything you like, save as. And it's gonna be in the same place here in West Virginia. And when you save, don't save it as an Excel workbook as default. Save it as, we have different CSV files. Just choose the first one. And let's call it COVID total, my case, West Virginia. You guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, CVS, CSV. CSV. Why CSV file? If you go back to the catalog, you're gonna see that catalog recognizes this file as a database by itself.
So this is the sum.
Okay, guys? Notice now I'm creating for data that I downloaded from the net. You're going to do lots of this because you have libraries, universities that have their own data and shapefiles, and we're going to create our own work. Notice here I give you no data for you to get, and I give you no data for you. Everything you got from the internet. Okay, so now let's create a geodatabase to put all our work there. So before you do the geodatabase, can you guys isolate West Virginia? Sorry, not West Virginia, your own state. In other words, I want something like this. I did it yesterday, and I want you guys to do it. If you remember, I have this, the counties of the whole states, and just the census tract of West Virginia. I'm going to use the census tract as a scissors to just cut off things in West Virginia. What I want to add is this guy here. I had it before, did it yesterday, and I want you guys to do it. You're going to help each other. I'm going to go around and help you as well. Where did I put it here? GIS. It's this guy here. I isolated, I was able to cut, we did that 2 labs ago. I was able to cut from the whole states, just the counties of West Virginia, and I had it as a layer. I also had it as a geodatabase. So can you do that? And we use what to cut? We use the other map that we had, which is the census tracts. So I'm going to leave you for a few minutes to do this cutting. How do you do it? Well, I'll give you 2 ways to do it. Let me give you a hint, because I see you now puzzled. When we did something called queries, and we did the queries by attribute or by location. And we want the layers of the features that are contained in the other layer where we have the census tracts. So once you do this, I'm going to give you like 10 minutes to work on it, help each other, ask my help as well.
Now we're back on that.
So I wanted to take the tracks
Citizen. Touch the boundary, you just touch the boundary.
Are you saved?
What's the next
Right?
I gotta click on the one.
You just try, I don't know.
We haven't done
Which
one.
one are you saying?
The one you did, 4, you can see here.
No, but
If you continue to go through it.
I don't even get
You want to
I don't know, I can't
this
even
one here?
stay there.
And this is the first.
So just the numbers.
Yep.
So you use the data. Yeah. Thank you.
Does that have to be actually?
To have it so fast.
She put us directly. Okay. Select qualification, no? No, all the way down. You want to cut the county, this is the target, and this is the.
I thought I had it right there. There's the-
Did you get that detail on US counties?
So now we select. Now you can see the details, like the layers.
Because I mean, I know the state was 47.
Make layer some selection.
Declare and you have to export the data as well.
Yeah.
What's the opposite south, not north? Now what?
Okay, guys, now let's create any questions here. It should be easy. It should be like a skill that you all master now. No? Need more time? You need more time. Sure.
What's YouTube?
We go to file. Sorry. So you go here to one that's selected, right click. No, go to the layer that's selected. Right click.
Yeah.
I'm not here with John, I'm still trying. I'm still setting it.
You want to export the data.
Okay, let's see if I'm on here.
And
Maybe it's on like
export it.
days or
Did you get it?
stations.
You found it for me?
So no, you just create the layer from scratch. Right
That's
click.
how I would do it.
No, right click.
Oh, yeah, you for it. You for it.
Selection. Create layer from select data.
Look.
Layer.
I wonder if you actually disabled, but I don't even know.
I'm sorry, it's the other, it's the other.
Trying to
It's
figure it out.
the other.
Go to definition.
Yeah, there you go.
Where you see that?
Right
So now you have this book.
Now,
Property, I'm kind of following you.
You have a new layer. Now you can select this.
did you get this?
Right
Did you
click
fix
again.
that?
Your state.
I know.
Data.
Well, we're doing country, state.
You now have no.
Do that back.
I think if you look at your query builder, I don't know.
Okay, that's exactly what I was at, but I didn't know you from there.
I'm listening to them.
I got some hurt.
We just don't know what they
Actually,
She got me to hear
I'm
something.
saying
That's
my
the first time,
favorite
I
is
just
the
don't know
right
which one's the
thing.
correct format.
Mhm.
It's just not.
Yeah.
There's not a thing at the place. Well, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, copy paste through. And right here's where all my other data is. I'll just save it right here as quick.
Save it wherever you want, because you're gonna later on take it inside.
So now
I
it's
mean,
right
what's the
here.
plot? Somebody dying or what?
Because I'm down right here. This, I'm stuck, like, I'm supposed to. I've been learning while, yeah, it's like.
Not right now.
Don't worry about it, I'm not going to just refresh it.
We're all.
Okay, then you have to refresh it.
Every single.
I'm that stinking guy
Wait,
with
close
the
it.
Let me just tell you,
file.
water is. I'm not getting screwed.
I'm gonna play my valley.
You there?
I'll keep looking.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Making any headway? Making any headway? Yeah, you done already?
Okay, so I have a this form. Is this, like, this is the part that
This
confuses
is select by attribute. You want to select by location.
me.
You want when you let's even when you replicate, you want to go like this. This is exactly. You want this is the table I want to cut. I want to cut all the features that are contained under my location. So then we choose selection application, application, and then selection, layer from the selection.
We can do it from the track.
Select by location.
What do you want to cut to?
I think I got it, right?
You want to cut from the whole states. The whole
Selection by
So
location.
you want to cut from this one.
I think that's where it becomes big.
And the other one.
I just seen y'all mirrors out there.
What type of, seems like something is going to be chosen here from other, so before you choose this, what is the criteria you select? Criteria of this cross, so you have to go down.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, here,
Here, okay, so what I
take open the list.
I want to.
How do you done?
That was not very good on my.
What you did here is that you cut it like this. So there are different ways to cut. So figure out which one is the best and then do it.
Like just on tape.
Supposed to be able to cut it.
Is this completely within?
I have like contains some census region, right? So for
Oh, yeah. Create layer for it.
Create.
Get rid of that. Wait, get rid of that. I'm just trying to make a layer out of it.
Did you get us?
Now we do it. No.
Okay, give us a selection.
I don't know where that, I don't know where we're going.
May I use her? I mean, just because he told us.
Oh.
So, okay,
Just go.
selection, here, very top. If there, see, click selection by location. And then alt.
She did it an easier way.
But, once you do that, then you, table source layer computer. Then what, you're making a layer out of it. Yeah. Yeah, make a layer. And turn off the other layer.
Oh. Hey. Huh?
Is that over the screen?
No.
Oh, that much.
Why don't we just do the attribute table select and cut?
That's what I thought.
Seriously, help them query. And then pretty much just.
There's three ways.
Yes, my original way was just selecting from the attribute table and creating a new layer. That was my original way. Huh?
The same thing?
I got it.
Yeah.
Look at this thing, the real question, why are so many people still?
This doesn't, when he does, select by location, it doesn't take all of his counties.
Oh,
I said, the real question, why are you-
What criteria?
probably where you're at.
Cheaper. It's like about you. They don't.
They don't.
Yeah, you know what? It's all right.
If them people are not out of hand,
Still tastes good.
Peking, well, it's Peking, it's usually Peking. Yeah.
It's good from scratch.
somebody help in
Here, here, do it again.
Is it open? It won't probably, yeah, that would be. It's a lot of work.
US County.
Yeah, I went to high school with. Well, see. The one.
Okay, change it. So love it.
And they have a international fair. And it's still successful. And it was really good. And then they got big and it's really good. Now, there's
There is five, but the borders on our off, so it doesn't completely contain.
Yeah.
Because here, it's not your error.
The one that's in there. Or they're just branch out, it's moving.
It didn't tell me to say it.
The prostrate and the one.
I have the same problem. This is from, it's like a warning, it's.
But I do like the fact that,
Probably because it was dark again.
I like. Especially you gotta get special. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's really just like a tortilla with chopped steak and cheese sauce. And sometimes like peppers or whatever. But it's covered in cheese sauce. Pineapple.
Yeah, the other one was shown.
It's a big old pie.
Oh, my brother's got it.
$15, but,
Well, mine's $18.
I think they reused the pineapple.
Happens to me.
Because you don't know where all pineapple. Where all the pineapple goes. You're like, "Hey, this will just be used." That time when I heard that broken glass, that guy was trying to-
Oh, he had a solid frozen mother. And put one beer.
Florida?
He's like, I don't know what that is.
And now.
He's like, I don't know what that's there. Well, I looked at it.
That's like physics 101.
He looked at it. There was like 6 or 7 of them. Equal 4 of them. Redneck. He's like, y'all pipeliners?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't believe it. And we're like, no, we got a college tech. Oh, really? I mean, we did look like.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not gonna be a
Then you can either run.
That's 100 or 100.
Electrical. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give you 5 more minutes, guys. I'm probably not finish this.
Should have said, yeah, we'll put hot cans up. Cheers. My wife. My wife, I can get hungry, but she gets hungry.
I'm good at for a while, but then I'm like belly growling.
From my.
Okay, guys. Now, you can now close your map because we're going to create a brand new map with the layers that we create. Again, now let's close the map. We did it just, remember, for the sake of seeing what we did. Now we have the data. So again, you selected, you isolated this, and you created a new data set by data export for this new. So you created a new layer of the counties of the state that you have chosen already. Now I'm going to close my map. No save anything. I don't need to save it yet. And now let's create a geodatabase that has whatever I wanted.
So you just completely exit out what we.
Yeah, it's just for the sake of isolating and cutting the data.
Don't save it. Don't save it.
Don't save the map. The map is just a pointer to your data. As long as you're able to export your data somewhere, because we're going to create a geodatabase from this data. So let's go to the folder. Let's now expand my.
my ARC catalog. I'm going to put it here, expand it. And now let's create a new geodatabase, exactly like we did last week. So I'm going to go to my, where did I put my stuff here? So this is my GIS 2020. I'm going to go to West Virginia, where I created my folder. Right click, new, file geodatabase. And let's call it, in my case, West Virginia COVID database. I'm creating a new geodatabase, and now let's export all data sets that we created into this geodatabase. So first thing I want to put in this geodatabase is you have created the data set that has the U-isolated counties. In my case, I have it here. So I'm going to go to my counties here, this counties. It's going to be a shapefile.
So we're going to find the file we just made.
So here, this is my counties of West Virginia. I go to it, I right click, and I export to Geodatabase as a single one.
Wait, is that what we just did? Like how we isolated?
Yes, we have it as a shapefile, and we want to put it in our own Geodatabase of COVID-19. We're going to put it all together into one container. Again, I'll do it again from scratch. So let's cancel this. So guys, again, we need to create a brand new geodatabase. This geodatabase will include all the new data that you developed right now. So we're going to go to the folder, this folder that we created, and let's add a new geodatabase, and then let's export every piece of data that we created. If it's a shapefile, if it's a table, and put it in this geodatabase. Let's do this together. So what I do, I go to the folder, any folder I like, right click, new file geodatabase, and let's rename it. Since I'm working with a new COVID-19 geodatabase, so I'm going to name it here West Virginia COVID DB for database. Okay.
So mine say here. I don't know how to get it out. I don't know how to get it out. I get it every year.
Get what?
This is a file.
No, we're creating a brand new geodatabase. So what do you want to change? No, right now I'm just saying create a brand new geodatabase. So what it is? You're just one step ahead. We're going to do it right now, okay? Second step, guys. Second step, I created a brand new geodatabase. And this is an important step for us to make our data all in line together in one container. So we can share the data with everyone now. Second thing, which I was asked by Casey now, how can I now, the shapefile that I created of the counties of West Virginia in my case, how can I put it into the geodatabase? This is how I do it. First of all, search where the shapefile is. So in my case, this is the West Virginia shapefile that I created. You might have for New York, you might have it for Florida, you might have it for North Carolina.
Yeah, we saved it as well.
I told you when you, and that's what before you close the file, I asked you to isolate the counties, select it, create a new layer, and export it as a shape file.
Oh, what is that?
So if you didn't do that, do it again. I can give you enough more time. We have the file, right?
trying to figure out how to do. Consider that.
I just put one.
And if you want to ask how do you export the shapefile and how to export the layer as a shapefile, like I have here, to remind you how to do this, even though you did that 2 weeks ago, you go to this layer, right click, you go to data, export data, and you choose what type of data you want to do it, all features, and then you go here and figure out what is the, if you want it as a geodatabase file, you want a shape file, the way you like to export it, the type of data you want. It's up to you. In my case, I put it as a shape file. So this is how you would export any layer you have in our map. And I ask you specifically before you close your map file, is you need to export the data.
Okay, and export it as a shape file.
You want to export it as a shape file, you want to export it as a Geodatabase feature class, it's up to you. Doesn't matter. Because anyways, we're going to add it as a feature class. Yes.
Once it's here as a shape file.
Yeah, that's the next step. I'm going to tell you right now. But once everybody's in line. Okay, guys?
Mac, you good?
No, I wanna watch the video,
Feel like okay, now to answer Casey's question. How can I now? I have a new geodatabase. I want now to put feature classes in this geodatabase. And the main feature class is the counties that I just cut. Let's do it together. So you go to the shapefile that you have, which I have it here. This is the shapefile of West Virginia. And again, I right click and I export to Geodatabase single. So this is my shapefile. The output location, I put it here in my new geodatabase that I created. I put it here, West Virginia, this new geodatabase, and I name it anything I like. So these are my counties. So now we change the form of the shape of the give up already. Give up to me. So now we have our geodatabase. Once you have this wizard, it's going to ask you what shapefile you want now to add to my database. And we have only one file here, one shapefile, which is the counties that you just created. So now I have it inside my geodatabase. Leave everything to default and click OK. Values required. Yeah, you have to name the feature class. So let's call this West Virginia, in my case, counties. Click OK.
you gotta import.
Export. You go to the file, shapefile that you have, and you want to export it as a geodatabase. You can still work as a shapefile as it is, but when you put it as a geodatabase feature class, it's much easier to handle. It's much easier to put to make control of it and also to share the data. So now, if you look here, my new geodatabase has a plus sign next to it, and it has its new baby here, my West Virginia counties. I haven't yet started the new stuff, by the way, guys. We didn't do the join yet. The geodatabase itself. Click on it. Don't double click. Just click on it. No, go up. Just click on it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I don't need to.
No, it's way more. No. Okay, guys?
Right click.
Why is small down there? I took a picture of it.
Is that okay?
Huh?
Is that okay?
What, I got one like that.
Oh, no, that's not it.
Okay. Now guys, let's do the new stuff. Now we have a table and we have a layer that contains the counties. We want to join these two together into one attribute table. Okay, then we can now start using this symbology, put some colors based on the data that we just added to it. So I'm going to do this with you. So first of all, also we want to figure out where the data is. So my data here is, let me remember where it is. So in this case, I have it as COVID cases in West Virginia. I do the same thing. I want to extract it as into my geodatabase. And also, guys, if you do, we can do it directly like this, or just now, let's put it into your map file as well. So we have here the map, you have the counties, and now let's add this Excel CSV file into the map file. So I'm going to do it together. I know that you're not happy. I can see that in your faces.
Yeah, we're not doing a whole lot together, that's the problem.
Excuse me?
We're not doing a whole lot together because you're moving, like, all of us are not caught up. Like,
Okay, so what do you want me to do?
Like, you're moving faster when.
Sure, okay. Go ahead, guys. What?
So mine went to a place, it's a shape file, but I can't get it to show up in here. I mean, it's right there, but it won't export.
No, we have to make it out.
Because it's, you can see here.
I think that's.
So why didn't you call me?
I did, I just asked you, so we're gonna go over that.
I went over it, so it's. So, show me what you did here.
Went to where it said it was at. Right here, the shape file. Where you found last nine, I'm doing fresh last nine. It shows up here. It's right there, you export.
Okay.
Over the weekends, I usually do two or three.
There's nothing there. Are you sure this is a shape file that you created? Because it doesn't show me.
Yeah.
I don't know the feature class. Is the feature class?
So,
Oh, it's a
I
feature
don't
class.
have any
It's
of
not a shape
my
file.
last line.
Feature class. So it's already there. I don't know how you put it here.
So.
And it has nothing.
What I've been doing is, I work with my hands, so after work, I just get off and get the engineering computer there. So they don't-
You just to save it as a shape file, so it's maybe one of those things.
I'm not sure what's that, but this has your tracks. This has nothing, that's why it doesn't want to single. So how do you get this?
I think this is just one of those things where, now, when you drive, when I say just that's what happens. We did. You said take it as a Shapefile. These are all the folders that came up for me doing that. So I can shape, and shape.
Yeah, but my question is, how do you get it? Because it shows me, like when I put it here now, it doesn't want to read.
I just took it and dropped it in the non. And then when I was here, and then press it right, and it takes me back to normal.
Why did you drop it yourself?
Because my question earlier was it's somewhere that's not in the folder that's in it.
Why are you using Explorer, Windows Explorer? Did we ever do that? So you just took this shapefile here?
And then it'll take
No,
that, but it should.
this is defined as a shapefile altogether. It's a whole complete database. You cannot just take one file and you want it to be read. Where is this thing here? Show it to me. Forget about the show it to me in our brother. Connect.
Or do you want to take that? I'm like, I'm starting on the default. Do the acceptance.
Let's try it. What did you do?
Yeah. I went through all this stuff. I said, export it. Okay, today. I don't know. The export to change it to a shape file.
Okay.
I changed it to a shape file.
Where is this shapefile?
They went to the doctor. There's GIS.
Don't open, I want to see your homework. Where's that?
I'm telling you where it went, that's all I know. That's where it went, it's right there. It said it was on our GIS documents, or GIS, that's where it went.
Here, I'm connecting to the brain distribution.
It didn't work the first time. And then it did the second time. You didn't do anything different, did you? We could, yeah, I almost still did it. I go out, you gotta do it, I shoot like 7 or 8 yards. You know what to do, definition of doing things. Yeah. Well, where I'm at here. You can have it cars do the same.
Not saying that.
Okay, show me again on the Explorer. Where is it? So it's under documents, RJS, right? You have it here? Because you need to connect it. Documents. Here, everyone's here. But that's again.
Yeah.
I called her, she called me, and I called back. Did you get an email? Yeah. Okay, well, here's the deal. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. Sets, like 8 reps.
Well, man, none of my school stuff is with me. I was like, well, then you can get back down and get it together. I'm glad, see, I live in Michigan, something I don't sell.
So I could raise my bench a little bit, but I still. I gotta get somewhat like.
To move out and then just. Yeah, I'll show you.
So what I asked you to do is this is your.
Yeah, just open.
But usually, I do have to stuff there.
That is the select.
But where?
That's a tract. It's a tract.
I used to.
Where is, see how that export after two, export after two, it's the same thing I tried over earlier.
So like, we're at here, right, Raleigh County. She lives right over in here. Are you?
My house is
I'll
like
do it for you.
here.
I'm right.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is this inspection.
So
I
this is
down and back,
7
down and back.
Oh, yeah.
No, it takes me 3.5 to get time.
Mine's 30.
Yes, because I'm working with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I,
I don't know where
if
it's
I'm going to also correct or something, it's exactly now.
See, and there's no good way for us to know. Like you have to go from here up 79
Yep.
and over 33, which is like the worst road in the state. For me, I go over into Virginia, up, but you come over here and go up through all that.
So do you get on the like 19?
I don't, she does. I
Yeah,
own 60.
because basically the 33 that comes from across here, then ends like 5 minutes from my house, and then they're extended from there on.
And just said,
So
okay,
I just
say.
took basically
What's your name?
just 4 inch track.
See how it's already in there?
So yeah, she was like, you can get back to school, get your stuff. Don't get out.
Probably a good time.
Maybe we're going on a road trip today. So we left, I left my house at 10, and we got back to her place. 7. Now, I mean, I took my house, like, yeah, I wouldn't, and whatever. And we stopped. We stopped eating.
You know I live.
I did that, I had to move out. And that moved in.
That's the only good thing about, I have a house down here, so I've just left my things in there that whole time. But it sucks because I have to pay rent, I don't have them down here.
Which I know I was, because when we left last semester, I was telling myself to take longer.
That was another version. No. Remember you did it more than once? The first one you did. The other way around. You did Census Tracts. It seems like you copied one.
Yeah, actually, rabbits.
And we did now, we have this, you can now put this.
So I'll leave it like 9:30.
So what I'm trying to get first.
Okay, guys,
Oh, do that.
anybody else wants, are not following me? I apologize if I'm going a little bit fast, but all this we should have done 2 weeks ago, and we had 2 homework to that. I haven't yet started the new stuff. I haven't yet started. Everything we're doing today, we've done as homework, and we've done as 2 exercises. Okay, now we have a geodatabase. This geodatabase has the counties, and now we have also a file, a CSV file that we created. Now let's put these 2 into your map, and let's do the join. And then I'm going to leave you now to start working on the representation of your counties. So let's start this, guys. So I'm going to go here. As we do with layers, we're going to do it also with the table. So take the table that you created, the CSV file, and also grab it. Why cannot?
You accidentally grabbed the Excel file.
Oh, yes, not an Excel file, the CSV file, I'm sorry. Take this file and put it on your map. It's going to put it as a file. It's not going to put it as a layer because it's just a table. You can see the table. And now we need to create this kind of a join. A join between the older one and the new table. So, to do this, guys, and that's the new stuff we're going to be learning today. We have able to isolate a layer of counties, either shapefile or a feature class, and we have a table that we created. Let's look at the 2 tables and see what's the similar thing between the 2, so we can join the 2 tables together. We want to find a field that is the same on both. So first of all, I'm going to go here and go to this guy first. Let's see the attribute table. So these are the attributes. You can see here that it has county, something called the
have more than that. We have FID, which numbers from 0 to the last county. We have Shapefile. We have the state number. We have the name. We have something called name, which is the complete name, Marshall County, Hardy County. And we have number. We have this number which is called the GOID. Let's now look at the table that we created. Is there something similar? If there is something similar, we can join the two tables together into one layer and use the new numbers that we created as the data set for them. So let's do this together. So let's open the other one. So if you just open here, this is the new table that you guys created. If you remember the name of the county, the total cases, the number. So probably, usually there is a number that's similar, especially if you get your values from the census tract. But I have the name, so I can join the two tables, the layer and the table, using the name. Actually, I tried to use the numbers. These numbers work as well, the county FITPS, but there was a problem with the number format that caused a complete mess in the workout. So I said, you know what, let me try the name, and the name worked perfect. So let's do it one by one together. So let's close this guy here. And here in the layer, I want to join the new table. So I go right click as usual. There's something called joins and relates, where I can join and relate two layers together, or I can join a layer and a table together. Click on join. So let's ask you, okay, how do you want to join? What is the field that you have similar between the table and the layer that you have? So if you remember, we use here name LSAD, similar to the name in the other one. So I'm going to choose here name SLAD, and it figures out which tables you have. So I have here the table of COVID cases 3. And here, I'm going to use here the county name, yes. You might test your join by something called validate your join. It's going to give you errors if you have error even in one record. So you can test that, and then click OK. And let's open the attribute table now. And now you can see I have the new fields at the end. So here I have the county name, and I have the total cases for all my counties here in this table. Okay, guys? Any questions? Okay. Right now, I can start representing the data. What I want you to do, and it's going to be a homework. It's going to be homework, so you can have enough time to ask me. And this homework will be due on, let's say, have the weekend. If you have any questions, I can Zoom with you and help you with that. Bring it back on Thursday. Tuesday is election, so you can vote after voting. What I want you to do is a PDF showing your map with a nice color scale of the highest to lowest county. In West Virginia, we use the red, yellow, orange, golden, green scale from green to red. Choose something similar, up to you. Now you have data. If you want me to do it, I'm going to do it really fast to show you. We did this before in the first 3 labs. Let me do it just a second. I'm not going to talk with you. Just going to show you how you do it. And I created here a map showing me the total cases in West Virginia from the lowest to the highest of COVID-19. So by this, guys, I want you to do the same. We did the harder part, which is creating the Geodatabase and joining the table together into the layer. What I want you to do, and I'm going to put a little bit higher weight for this exercise, this homework, to bring it back on Thursday. You have the whole next week to ask me. So you're not left behind like this guy here. I have the video, I'll put it on YouTube. And again, if you have any questions, ask me, it should be easy. And again, what we did is just a reminder of what we did in the last 8 labs that we did before. So guys, have a great weekend. See you Thursday. We don't have classes on Tuesday.